How dangerous is Cincinnati? Well, maybe that depends on which area you live in. You know, I think Cincinnati really gets a bad rep for being this really grimy, dark, scary, crime-infested place that no one should ever want to visit. Like we're just some demons out here or something.
The power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you.
Maybe that was the case at one time, but surprisingly, many people are relocating to Cincinnati from other major cities all the time, and I've helped a lot of them in this process. In fact, Cincinnati has become quite a tourist attraction in recent years with a lot of the makeovers that have been going on with the city. However, there are some places that you should be aware of if you're considering a move here. Like any major city, Cincinnati has its higher crime areas and its lower crime areas. And we're gonna look at some of these higher crime neighborhoods. That way you're more informed if you're considering a move here or if you're just curious about Cincinnati. These are the top 5 highest crime areas in Cincinnati. We're getting into it right now. Hey, if you're new to the channel, my name is Victor Pham. I'm a realtor here in the Cincinnati metro area. I'm helping people all the time relocate to or around Cincinnati. So if you need help buying or selling in Cincy or the Cincy suburbs, feel free to reach out. I'd love to help you. If you want to stay updated on content about Cincinnati, consider subscribing to the channel. That way you don't miss any new stuff. So the city of Cincinnati has a link the public can access and view all of the crime data, at least the data reported by the city and to other authority sources. So everything that I share with you is public data for the citizens, reported directly from the police department. And these are all inner city neighborhoods directly affiliated with the city of Cincinnati. So no suburbs, nothing outside of Cincinnati in this one. And we're looking at the data from the last 4 years with all of these areas. So from 2019 to the current day. All right, according to the data, here we go with the top 5 most dangerous neighborhoods. Number 5 is going to be the Central Business District. This is the area closest to the riverfront, comprised mostly of businesses, hotels, and venues. Since 2019, there were over 4,800 reported crimes to the police. 131 of them were violent crimes. The fact that this area was so high on the list was kind of surprising to me. Not the fact that the actual crimes were happening. I mean, this is Cincinnati, crime happens. But the fact that there is not really a reportable population in the business district. I mean, not a lot of people live there, and the people that do live there generally tend to be young professionals who like living in the more upscale, high-rise apartments they got down there. You know, because when you're young and successful, I guess you want to live the good life, right?
Hell yes!
It does seem like there's a higher population of homeless people closer to the river, so maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know if there's a correlation between homelessness and crime. They don't go that deep into the details, but that's just something I have observed during the times that I've been down there. Number 4 is Over the Rhine, also called OTR. OTR has such a rich history. Findlay Market is always booming on the weekends. I've been going there for years. The market operation actually dates back to the 1850s. Washington Park is also an OTR, one of my favorite parks to take my family. So it's kind of upsetting to see OTR on this list, but 5,000 reported crimes since 2019 and the population is only 4,900. So there were more crimes reported there than there actually are residents who live there. Wow. 131 violent crimes reported. Now, I would say they are doing a lot to OTR to make it a more livable and friendly area, especially over on Vine Street, which underwent a big transformation in the last decade, as did Washington Park. So it's getting better compared to the previous decades, and they are continuing to improve and revitalize the OTR area. Compared to the 90s when I was growing up, whew, OTR is like a utopia now compared to that. Not really. Utopia is a stretch. It's way better now, I'll leave it at that. Number 3 is Avondale. Located very conveniently to many of the major hospitals in the city, running off of Burnett Avenue and Martin Luther King Boulevard. I spent some time in Avondale throughout my life, and I can say that it is also another area that has improved a lot since the 90s, but it still has a ways to go. Population is over 12,000, over 5,200 crimes reported, 271 of those were violent crimes. Once upon a time, there was a police sniper set up on the porch building that I was staying in Avondale, and they told us we couldn't leave until the hostage situation across the street was resolved. True story, I'm not making that up. Number 2 is going to be Westwood. This is another one that's kind of upsetting to me because Westwood has a lot of really nice, quiet little pockets in it. There'll be like one little suburb that's really nice and quiet, and then it gets rough. And then there's a nice patch, and then it's rough. And then there's a nice patch, and then it's rough. And I get a ton of buyers who really love Westwood and they want to buy a house in Westwood. Yes, even with it being this high on the list. Population over 31,000, almost 13,000 crimes reported. 248 of those were violent crimes. And maybe the bigger population does have something to do with it, I suppose. I'm not a statistics expert, but more people generally would mean more circumstances for crime to occur. That would be my assumption, but I'll let you math experts answer that question. And number one is going to be Price Hill. Now, Price Hill consists of Lower, East, and West Price Hill. Some of the best views of the city here, especially up by the Incline Public House, and some really cool parks that I visited as well. But it is at the very top of this list, unfortunately, according to the data. Population just under 32,000, just shy of 13,000 crimes reported, and over 500 of those were violent crimes. So I hope this helps you make a more informed decision if you're considering a move to Cincinnati. Personally, I feel like there's way more nice areas than there are bad, even in the inner city parts. If you need help selling or buying a house in the Cincinnati area or the Cincy suburbs, feel free to reach out. I'm always here to help. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button before you leave. That way you stay updated on all the latest videos about Cincy. And remember, when it comes to houses in Cincinnati, you can always call Vic.